Welcome to the Man Cave Media Network and a special edition of the Down East Prep Report. It's the all-area football team show. I'm your host, Steve Goodson, and along with co-host Chris Miller, we're joined on today's show with, and we might as well go ahead and tell it because he's here. I wouldn't have had him if he was not.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't have had, all-area football player of the year, Gulat, senior athlete, running back, Superman from Dixon High School, and head coach Kelly Davis. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time today to join us, to talk to you, and be here when we reveal the rest of the 2025 all-area football team. So thank you guys for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely, guys. So before we dive in, I want to say a big thanks to our show's sponsor, Jeff Clark, and the fine folks at Marine Federal Credit Union, where you're more than just a member, you're part of a community with a personalized service, competitive rates, and a commitment to your goals. Marine Federal is here to help you thrive every step of the way. Visit marinefederal.org to learn more and discover how Marine Federal Credit Union can help you build a better financial future. So we're going to hop in, and before we talk to JJ and reveal the rest of the first team, second team, and third team, I want to do what we did for the soccer show really quick because they left us to come, left class to come here to come to talk to us today. Really, real quick, recap the Onslow County football season or the area football season, because we had a lot of record-setting performances, both individually, history-making things by teams, and whatnot. So I'm going to turn it over to you to just kind of recap that real quick.
I mean, just a season full of highlights and memorable moments. Obviously, Northside and Jacksonville reaching their East Regional Finals. Who would have thought Northside had what it takes to get that far? But congratulations to the Monarchs for getting that far, and they'll be back next year. Jacksonville fell a little short. I know we're a little disappointed not winning that regional final game, but still, nonetheless, a great season. Nonetheless, they'll be back. Obviously, Dixon, winning the most games that they've had in several years, winning 6 games, winning that first playoff game in program history, meant a lot to the program. Then you have Croatan, who won the most games they've ever won, shared the conference title with Havelock and Northside. I think that Coastal Conference race next year is going to be pretty interesting, between those 3 teams. So it's going to be a lot of fun next year. But yeah, this year a lot of firsts, a lot of memorable moments, and congratulations to all the coaches and great players that we have for making this a special season.
And Coach, you mentioned it, but you guys were part of just an awesome season, man. I mean, it was an awesome season between JJ and then the first victory in program history. I mean, that's amazing. And just want to tell you guys, just tell you congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
That is awesome. I'm going to flip over if I can find the remote to the TV because it has gotten off of the channel. Do we see where the remote to the TV? This is a good thing that we're recording here and not. All right, so now let's get to and share the 2025 Daily News all area football team, and I'm going to just bring this up. And Chris, once again, I'm going to let you kind of go over the players. I'll be Vanna White or whatever you want to call me, and move forward. But we'll start with the all area football first team offense.
And the scary thing is, speaking of Wheel of Fortune, Vanna White, the scary thing is a lot of these high school kids probably don't even.
Get the
reference.
I made that reference. They might not know. Maybe their parents will be watching, and so they will know. So.
Well, I think the biggest question that you had throughout the football season, Steve, was who would be the first team quarterback, and how many times did you? I don't envy you. You have a tough call. So, and I told you, I promised a good build up that I had something in mind. But Reginald Gray III, 3J will be the first team all area quarterback, sophomore. Threw for a little more than 2,600 yards and 26 touchdowns. Really was a key component to the Monarchs' success this year. Then you have Andrew Boucher, one of your favorite players this year.
I loved him. Water Boy. I called him the Water Boy. I know that's not original, but I did call him the Water Boy. So
almost 1,700 yards rushing, 31 touchdowns. Great athlete, 40 catches and a little more than 500 yards. And we talked to him a few weeks ago, and again, I don't want to say came out of nowhere, but kind of came out of nowhere to have the great season that he had. Then you have Sean Davis from East Duplin, 3-year starter. I think this is his 3rd year on the first team All-Area team as a running back. Didn't have as many yards as he had in previous years. He still rushed for 1,200 yards and 16 touchdowns, but he had 89 tackles. So Coach Holly used him more defensively this year. And he probably could have made first team defensive line, but when you're trying to put the puzzle pieces together, and you're trying to put this player in there and this player in there in this spot, it just made sense that to put him as a first team running back, given that he was already on there the previous 2 years.
Yeah. Well, you're just trying to get as many kids recognized as possible, and so trying to piece him there, just seemed the right thing to do to highlight his accomplishments.
And the kids who make first team All Area or second, third team, the kids that deserve to be recognized are going to be on there regardless of position. I know sometimes people, my kid was really more of a running back than a defensive back. Yeah, but he had a really strong defensive season as well. So, like I said, it's all about putting puzzle pieces together and and getting as many kids on there as possible. And going to running back, keeping with the running backs, Amari Pearson, AP. Rushed for almost 2,000 yards, 1935, 30 touchdowns. We have Mr. Player of the Year here joining us today, but Pearson could have been, any other year, Pearson could have done it, and Boucher could have very well done it as well. So we had the ball carriers this year that we had was very impressive. Beasley, Davis, Johnson, and Thompson, all 4 really good receivers. I think if if Coach would have let you throw a little bit, you wouldn't mind throwing to these guys.
Yeah, those have been. Not that you didn't have good receivers. You just you guys ran the ball, but those are pretty. I got the chance to watch all 4 of those guys play, and they're great receivers. And if I'm not mistaken, they're all 4 coming back. No, they're all 4 coming back. Yeah, they're all 4 underclassmen. So. That's really exciting.
But you look at Davis, 80 catches for about 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. He also had 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns as well. Smokey Johnson for Northside. If you look at the stats, only 36 catches, about 500 yards, 6 touchdowns. But he was a really key defensive player for them too. So 48 tackles. Sharon Thompson. We said this several times that when he was able to spread that offense open, Jacksonville was even more dangerous. 32 catches, 632 yards. We had a really good wide receiver core right there.
Yeah.
And then
the big boys come to the big boys. Give the big boys some love now. You got to give them some love.
Your favorite players,
my favorite players, right here.
Luke Hall, East Duplin was you have to have an East Duplin guy on the offensive line because that's where it starts for those guys. But same thing with Dixon. Caden Sanders, Anderson Tant, Parker Woolley. I know Caden had a great season for you guys, Coach. And then Parker, Parker was the leader of that offensive line, wasn't he?
That's correct.
JJ, Parker meant a lot to you, and all the guys did. But Parker, I remember interviewing you guys several weeks ago, and Parker came up, and it was almost like he was protecting you.
Yeah.
So talk about that guy.
I love him, man. All 4 years we've just been friends. We've clicked. We all have that chemistry, so it's just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna lie to you either, dude. I looked at those pictures when he sent them to me, and I was like, and I wore 75 in high school. I was like, that kind of looks like me. I wore a green and gold. I wore a green jersey and a white jersey. Like, man, Caden looks that kind of looks like how I look, man, in high school. I don't look that way now, but anyway. So,
but then you have Anderson Tant. the leader, the center of Jacksonville's offensive line that really got better throughout the season and really became a strong force. Then you had Brandon Watson for White Oak. He had a solid season blocking for Josh Smith this year. So those were the 5 first team starting offensive linemen.
Yeah, I mixed this up a little bit.
Yeah.
I moved because the athletes were primarily you kind of listed the offense and the defense, and then had the athletes down at the bottom. I put them kind of geared towards the offensive side, so not to get you out of order. And I know that may have thrown you there for a second, but this is where the athletes are.
And this is where people are going to say I weaseled my way out. But again, the best players deserve to be on there. And Coach, you and I talked last week. You could put JJ at the offensive line and he would succeed. Running back, quarterback, wide receiver, defense, he would succeed. He's not a quarterback, running back. He's a football player. Correct. And I think the same thing could be said about Josh Smith. I mean, he did play defense, had a great season offensively, rushing for a little more than 1,400 yards, 17 touchdowns, threw for 1,400 yards and 13 more scores. But he also played a lot of defense. And let's be honest, I mean, White Oak was in a lot of games because of this young man. Yeah. And we still question his musical taste. And
yes, we do.
But going back to JJ, I mean, 33, a little more than 3,300 yards rushing, 43 touchdowns. I mean, that's
amazing.
That's amazing. And
it's just simply amazing.
And then Cannon McBride, again, I mean, he could have been. You could put him at quarterback, but the fact that he probably could have been a first team kicker like he was last year. He's again just a great athlete. So these guys aren't just quarterbacks and running backs or whatever. They're athletes. They're football players. So I think that's the reason why that athlete spot exists, because of these guys right here.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And I don't think anybody would complain that as long as they were on the first team. I don't think anybody would complain. So then you have we're going to defense.
Yeah, rolling to the defense next.
And the thing about the defensive line, and Coach, you'll agree, is those defensive linemen won't necessarily have all the stats. They won't have a lot of sacks. They won't have a lot of tackles, because those are the guys that are plugging the holes.
They're the production guys.
Yes.
Those are the guys that make the linebackers the stars,
exactly,
and let the linebackers get the interviews with the media.
That's right.
When they don't do their job, the linebacker gets on them. Trust me, I've been there, man. And when they do their job, they just get a pat on the butt and say, "Thanks, man. I appreciate you helping me out." That's exactly right.
So, but Cutter Bryant, if you ask Andrew Gurley, he was one of their key defensive players and has been one of the better defensive linemen in the last couple of years. Nehemiah Johnson, 9 sacks. That is pretty impressive. For a defensive lineman. Jameer Mitchell for Northside, 69 tackles, 5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, but also had 19 catches for about 265 yards and 4 touchdowns. So, how often do you see a defensive lineman that's also a pretty decent wide receiver?
That's pretty impressive.
But that's the thing about the Northside Monarchs, is that a lot of those guys will play different positions. So they're not, Gavin Davis is a receiver, but he can also play kick return. He can be a running back, so on and so forth. So then we have the
I'll let you say this one. I'm not going to say this one. You say this one.
Tui also Sopo Saluli.
Good job.
Yeah. So he would definitely make the all name team.
Name team. Yeah.
And so interesting story about that kid, related to Tui Sopo, who used to play football at Washington Huskies several years ago, and his grandfather was in movies, was in Necessary Roughness many years ago. So,
okay.
You're a pretty cool kid. Daniel Wisniewski for Northside, 108 tackles. That's pretty impressive. Avery Apostella for Jacksonville. Kind of did a little bit of everything. 75 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries. His teammate Jackson Henry. Avery was a linebacker. Jackson was a linebacker. 130 tackles. Really, him and Blake Moses, who we had on the show a couple months ago, were really the defensive leaders. And plus they were pretty quotable after games.
Yeah.
So Blake, 84 tackles, 25 tackles for loss. That's pretty good. Anoop Monroe from Northside, 167 tackles.
Wow.
I mean, that's
where does that rate? I mean, do we have stats as far as, I know we obviously keep a lot of offensive stats. That had to be near the top.
I would imagine
in the area.
Oh yeah, I think that, in terms of the area, I think he led the area for sure. So and he was a hard hitter too, and he's the one that he likes to chirp a lot. As he's the chirper. We mentioned Blake. Cameron Napier brought a lot of experience, 121 tackles to Northside's defense. So we had a very strong linebacker core this year, but we also had a strong secondary this year. I mean, look at the numbers. Zach Ball, East Duplin, 7 interceptions.
That's good. That's
Keyshawn McKinney, who was a East Central Conference's Defensive Player of the Year, 130 tackles. Of course, Battle Holly, when we had him, and Brian Aldridge spoke very highly of McKinney a couple months ago. 3 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles, 4 sacks. So but the 130 tackles is pretty impressive for McKinney. Riley Robinson, another experienced senior for Croatan, 67 tackles, 2 interceptions, but also had 36 catches for 579 yards and about 9 touchdowns. So, he could have probably been an athlete as well.
Yeah.
Depending on the situation. Matthew Smoot, again, another great athlete for the Monarchs, 100 tackles, 7 interceptions, 2 blocked field goals, and also had 20 catches for 366 yards. So that completes the secondary. But again, another strong another defensive back core that we had that were pretty strong. This one was kind of hard. We had 3 or 4 different kickers that had a chance to be first team, second team, third team, and it just kind of came down to, again, the way the puzzle pieces. I could have put Gavin Jarman as a first team kicker, but he had a good season punting the ball as well. So, but Nelson, you don't want to fault a kid because his team didn't score as many touchdowns, but did his thing as a place kicker. Gavin Jarman, about 37 yards per punt, also made 45 extra points and 4 field goals. So he's the first team punter. And I don't think there's any argument with Yandez Baker for first team kick returner. He returned.
Yeah, I watched him return a kick. I watched him return a punt. Watched him play defense. Yeah, he's a player. He's going. I mean, he's a great kid, great player. Going to the East West game. Mm-hmm. Going to keep playing. That game's in July, I think, every year. So he's just, when he touches the ball, man, good things happen.
So that and I talked to Bo about, because Yandez could have easily been a first team defensive back.
Yeah.
But when you return 3 kicks and 1 punt, you automatically get a spot on this as a kicker.
Yeah.
I mean, a kick return.
Yeah.
So that's the and we mentioned the athletes, JJ Cannon and Josh Smith. And I know we kind of picked on Josh about being an athlete last year, and again, I don't think there's any complaints about.
No. I mean, again, I just, when this whole season was going on, and Coach, I'd like to get your thoughts on it, because you faced a lot of these guys, man, at quarterback. I mean, again, and I told somebody yesterday or this past week, I was like, I don't know if because I started doing this thing in August. I've been here, lived here 30 some odd years, always been involved in community. My job allowed me to do that. So I always followed area football, area sports, with schools and stuff like that. But I don't know if it was because I was hyperactive with this year, but this year was just an extremely unique year for offensive production talent, not just at the running back slot like JJ, but the quarterbacks.
Yeah, there's looking at the screen and you get to see those faces.
You played like every one of them.
I remember all those very well, specific plays, even off of it. But man, it just goes to show you what talent is around this area right here. I mean, and I know there's tough decisions. There's probably 8 or 10 kids probably pretty easily that could easily jump on here. First team, second team, all of it. But yeah, I mean, when you talk about like the Croatan, the North Side. I mean, heck, it's week in, week out. I mean, it's SEC football here in the high school level. There ain't no doubts about it.
So the kid from what's the guys that the linebacker from Northside that talks?
Anoop.
Do you remember playing him? Did he tackle you during the season, JJ? And did he want to talk to you, have a lovely conversation with you? Do you remember?
Number 24.
Number 24. Do you remember him?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I stay to myself and I do what I can.
Yeah.
To run through defenses.
I just heard that the kid just he's a great kid, but and what they tell me, what they tell us is that when he steps across the line, he gets in this mode. But when he steps off the field, he's just the nicest kid as he could be. So
there were several times we heard from different, would you please run a different offense? Would you please not run that right there?
That's great.
Now I will say this though, we do have a photo of JJ against Northside. I think you just scored, and you got pretty hyped, and I think you were chirping a little bit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there was definitely some chirping that game.
If you score, you got a right to chirp, right, man? That's That's right. That's right.
Because I think that y'all took the lead on Northside a couple of times. I think you led at halftime, and that might have been the maybe late second quarter that kind of gave y'all a good cushion going into halftime. And I just remember how you were pumped up. You were animated. We'll say that.
I know what player you're talking about. 100%.
All right. Let's go to the second team real quick, and we're gonna just kind of go. We're just gonna mention these names, right? And
Anthony at quarterback. I mean, just that it got better and better. We had him on the show a few weeks ago. Rely missed a little bit of time, missed a few games late in the season. Still rushed for right at 1,000 yards, 10:05. And then Sean. I mean, Coach, you and I talked. Any other year, he could have probably been a first team. But still. He probably goes a little bit unnoticed because, credit JJ, he had a great season. But, Sean still rushed for 1182.
Yep.
That's pretty.
Amazing back. He's an amazing back. All-around athlete. He's just.
Does he play other sports besides football? Does he play?
Runs track.
Okay.
And then, Montez for Montez Jimenez for White Oak, 1196 yards rushing. So that's the running backs. Dwight, Cameron, Edric, and Elliot, the Pineda brothers for White Oak. Receivers, all four had great seasons. Offensive line, Tyler for you guys, Coach. Justin Hardison, he's the big kid, number 77 for Northside, the big tall kid. Isaiah Hernandez for Jacksonville, Tanner Jones, and then Aiden Wilson for Croatan.
Let me before you move on. I do want to say something, Coach. That says a lot about. It doesn't tell me this type of offense you're in, but you had three guys, three of your O line,
yep.
2 first team, 1 second team. Yep. That tells me, man, and I'm old school. That tells me you get it. It's one in the trenches, right?
It is, and we pride ourselves pretty much on that weight room.
Yeah.
Coach Bobby Williams does a terrific job with our athletes of getting them in there. And these guys have really just bought into it. They've been eating and lifting, and they believe it. And, when we started seeing some success of it, it's just kind of amazing. But, yeah, it's up front where it all starts.
And I did notice as well that they all had the SR by their names, so you're going to have to replace them next
We
year.
are.
Okay. All right. We'll get to that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. All right,
Coach Davis's coaching prowess will be put to the test.
Yeah.
So where we at?
We're at the athletes, actually. I put the athletes here as well.
Yeah, and then this was JP Bacoli. We talked about him a couple times on the show. Kind of Mr. Do Everything, 3 interceptions, but still had 29 catches and 531 yards receiving. Eddie DeTola for Liberty. We talked about him multiple times.
I left the Y off Grady's name. My bad. Grady.
Yeah, but Eddie, 1,000 yards passing, 740 yards rushing for Liberty Christian. So he's a great athlete. So he deserved to be recognized. And then we have Grady for Lejeune. A little bit of a great athlete. did a little bit of everything. Unfortunately, Lejeune just was very low on numbers this year. Didn't have the athletes that they had, so his stats took a little bit of a dip. But a great athlete nonetheless for Lejeune. Where are we at defense now?
Yep. I just put these all on one page just to consolidate.
Yeah. I mean, good role players for these teams. Lazarus, junior. Muhammad didn't necessarily have the stats, but was a great defensive leader for Northside. Blair, same thing for Jacksonville, and Christian Taylor. Again, defensive linemen aren't going to necessarily have all the stats, but great players nonetheless. Same thing with Quentin for Jacksonville, was a defensive leader. Carter, Peyton, Brody, Vincent, and Bradley. Again, good linebackers for Jacksonville. Unfortunately for Bradley, got hurt in that Union Pines game, and probably that hurt Jacksonville in the regional final. Had he played, maybe Jacksonville has a little bit of a better defensive effort that game. But that's football. And then defensive back Dylan. 3 interceptions. Dwayne Davis, East Duplin, 4 interceptions, 92 tackles. Jason for Swansboro had 5 picks. And then DJ for Jacksonville had 2 interceptions and 16 defended passes. So
yeah, that kid, I watched him play in a couple of the playoff games. He's a sophomore. If he keeps progressing, it's in my mind, and maybe it's happening more and more in high school football with more teams throwing the ball. But that kid could cover.
Yeah,
he was as a sophomore in high school. He had been, and I don't know if it's just simply the Jacksonville coaching staff or if now kids do training all season with various folks or whatever. But that kid got it about how to cover, because it's hard to cover somebody a lot of times. At least I'm watching and not get a flag thrown on you for pass interference. That kid's going to be good. We need to watch him, man. He's a sophomore. He's going to be good.
And he had a good game in that regional final. They tried to pick on him a few times, and he had he played a good game. So he'll definitely have a big season next season. And then you go to the place kicker, Sam Summers, 34 extra points, 2 field goals. But I think I needed to put him on there because his specialty is those onside kicks, those pooch kicks. So he did a good job giving Northside extra possessions with his specialty. And then punter Josiah Benton, about 35 yards a punt, which in high school is pretty decent. So he had a good season. He may be the starting quarterback for Jacksonville next year. We'll see how that goes. And
let's go. Then we got the third team,
mm-hmm.
If you want to go over that real quick, and then we will get to the fun stuff and what JJ.
And the thing about third team, you try to make the first team exclusive. The all-air team should be inclusive, but with third team you can kind of stretch it out a little bit. I just thought it was appropriate to put 2 quarterbacks on there, CJ and Kevin, on there. Amari Benton, 670 yards. He averages 6.7 yards per carry playing behind AP. So, that was a pretty decent season. Ton for Southwest, Jaquil for Southwest had good rushing seasons. They just didn't have the horsepower the Stallions did. They just didn't have the horsepower this year, but Southwest will be back next year.
And I laughed as you're going over this because I'm looking at the quarterbacks, and I know we've got to move on, but I'm looking at the quarterbacks. So I'm looking at the Richlands, I'm looking at Swansboro, I'm looking at Croatan, and I'm looking at Northside. Coach, you faced again. We talked about this. Yeah. 4 of the all area quarterbacks you guys play. That just is a testament to your conference, a testament to your guys' great season that you had. So I'm just sitting here laughing going, there's the only kid in hell, West Carteret, we don't cover West Carteret, and that kid's going to Elon to play college football. Yep. So it's just crazy times right now, man. It is.
But receivers, Isaiah, Jesse James, the outlaw, Isaac for Jacksonville, Nicole White had some pretty big catches throughout the regular season for Northside. Offensive line, Sergio was a came on as a strong offensive lineman. Cole Jarman, we had him on a few weeks ago.
Great
a couple
kid.
months ago. Nate, Connor Mead, and then Zion. And like I said, it kind of extended it a little bit with Caleb because some of these guys made all conference, and they made all conference, and their conferences based it on position. It wasn't one of those where you finished fourth, you got 4 spots. You finished third, you got 8 spots. So these guys legitimately made their all conference teams. So that kind of helped fill things out. As far as offensive line, we go to the athletes, the Smith brothers. I couldn't have one without the other.
Yeah, they really had really comparable seasons for Liberty.
Yeah, they were key players for the Heat. So unfortunately, they're seniors, and but I'm sure Sean would have loved to have them at least for one more season. But then so we had those 2 guys for the athletes. Defensive line, Caleb had a good season for Liberty Christian. Connor Trent, Connor Wedges for Swansboro. We had a lot of Connors on the 13 defense, didn't we?
Yeah, that year when parents were having children, Connor must have been in the top 10 of names to name your baby. So
McQueen, great athlete for Lejeune. Again, just low in numbers, but Bo Mills had a good season with 3 interceptions, 67 tackles. Dylan had 45 tackles and 5 fumble recoveries. Keani, for you guys, coach. I know your defense probably came up some big stops in the playoffs. I know people wanted to say what they wanted to say about defensively, but they came up big in the playoffs, didn't they?
Yep, they did.
So Keani, 104 tackles. I mean, that's that's pretty good. Caden had a good season for Northside. Same thing with Carter for Croatan. Squirrel Sammy for Jacksonville.
Two big interceptions in the regional final. Yeah, I mean that kept them close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
60 tackles, 4 interceptions. Missed a game or two middle of the season, but came back. But he'll be a senior next year. Keandre for White Oak, 29 tackles, and then Isaiah Benton, 13 kicker, made 4 field goals in the season opener against Southwest. And then Camden Warden for Richlands, 32 yards per punt. And then the kick returner, Daniel Canales, had a kickoff return for a touchdown, and he had 6 other returns past midfield. So that kind of helped him get the 13.
and I will tell you that Isaiah, third team, he takes as much pride as this. Isaiah was named our all-area soccer player of the year yesterday, or it was announced last night. But he probably takes as much pride in being named third team all-area football because he is a competitive person. So, well, that's a great list, man. A lot of players recognized, and I didn't say this before, but across the 3 teams, 104 players were recognized from 11 different schools. And I think, honestly, that's what it's all about. It's giving these kids, we talked about this when we did the soccer show. These kids put in the time, effort, and they don't do it so they can see their name up on a screen that says first team or second team or whatever. But that's just a nice little piece of it, man. That they can be rewarded, they can be recognized for their efforts, and so kudos for you. You had a tough job, and I'm glad you did it, and not me. So.
Well, and people love those all area teams. They love preseason watch lists. They love midseason watch list. I mean, people love seeing a bunch of names on a list, and but they love all area, or sometimes they hate all area. It always is a tough decision. You do talk to coaches, and you do get the feedback from coaches. Coach, I mean, I texted you guys like I do every year, and we talk if there's if there needs to be conversations. But I think if you're really truly unbiased, then you want to do a good job, and I feel pretty confident in this.
Well, congratulations on doing a fantastic job. I'm glad you did it and not me. And congratulations to everyone. So now let's hop into why we're here, man.
Yeah.
In addition to announcing the teams, let's move in and talk to JJ and the coach. So from running quote everything but the concession stand to running Dixon football into the record books, JJ Gulat delivered one of the most dominant seasons the area has ever seen. The Dixon senior powered the Bulldogs' single-wing offense with bruising runs, record-setting production, and a leadership presence that helped deliver the program's first ever playoff victory. After rushing for more than 3,300 yards and scoring 43 touchdowns, Gulat's historic year earned him the All-Area Player of the Year honors for the 25-25 season. And I would be remiss, guys, I'm going to cut back real quick. I would be remiss. We had that slide up there right there that kind of talks about that tells that. He capped a record-setting 2025 season by earning the All-Area Player of the Year honors, finished as a finalist for the Mr. North Carolina Football State Player of the Year, 33-61, 354 carries, 43 touchdowns, 9.5 yards per carry. That's an amazing stat right there, the 9.5. As amazing, 12 games over 219. Of course, there's the highlights, 371, 5 touchdowns, West Carteret, 429, 7 touchdowns in that program-defining win for you guys against Rockingham County. And his season ranks amongst the top seasons rushing in North Carolina High School Athletic Association history. And it also, in addition to this, earned him the Coastal 5A, 6A Offensive Player of the Year. So I'd be remiss if I did not show that. Now I'm going to try to shut up and ask some I'm going to ask a few questions and let you talk, man. So, JJ, when you hear your name announced as the All-Area Player of the Year, what does that honor mean to you?
I think it's just a testament to how much work I've put in, coming from last year, not projected to be a starter and everything. I've just worked my way up to the top, and I've always kind of told my coaches I'm going to do what I can to help the team win. And I go into every game thinking that you can't stop me, you have no chance, and I'm going to run all over you.
That's a great attitude, man. So early in the season, after the West Carteret game, someone did make that comment that you ran everything but the concession stand. What do you remember? And I know you had a lot of great games, but do you remember anything specifically about that performance? And did it motivate you moving forward, or are you always motivated, man?
I mean, yeah, I'm always motivated, but something about that, it's like coming into that game, I never had a 300-yard game, and it was like I realized I could do it after that. I could have a 300-yard plus game, so after that, it wasn't just I want to have a 200-yard game. It's I know I can have 300, so I want to have a 300-yard game every game. That's
awesome. So the historic numbers in the playoff against Rockingham County stands out to many as your defining moment. And I was thinking about when I was writing this question, I'm like, defining moment. Okay, when you rush for the amount of yards you rush and then score the number of touchdowns, that sort of thing where I guess if you got to have a defining moment, that's as good as any of them. But you had, in my mind, you had several defining moments. But I want to, talk about that game, but then talk about what it meant for you from the team perspective and Dixon winning that game.
Well, for me and a few of my other friends and coaches and stuff, we kind of talked about it. It was like, 291 yards and you get 3,000 something that nobody ever thought going into this season was going to happen. So go into that game thinking, I'm not being stopped, whether they want to or not. They could have 12 people looking just at me and I'm not going to let them tackle me.
I love it, man.
It's just going into games like that, thinking like that, knowing like that, having that confidence helps a lot in winning games. And I think from a program perspective, I've always told them I'm going to do what I can to help y'all win. And hurt, not hurt, anything, you can put the ball in my hands 500 times in a game, and I'll still do everything I can to help y'all win.
So speaking of that, you carried the ball over 350 times this year in the offense. I used to joke when when we were doing the show, I think I joked when you were here, but when you were player of the week one time, you weren't here, or we were looking at outstanding performances. I used to joke about you living in an ice bath afterwards. So, but what allowed you to handle that workload, not just physically, man, but mentally too?
Physically, I mean, the weight room has been the biggest part. I mean, I'm a very humble person, but when I get in the weight room, I know my whole mindset's just like being a running back. I'm the strongest person in here. Load the weight up. I'm doing it more than you can. So the weight room's a big factor on why I can take the hits every week and get right back up afterwards. And just mentally, it's just, I love doing this. It's not like working a 9 to 5 that I'm like, oh, I gotta come here every day. It's like I'm ready to do this. I wanna win with my team, and everybody celebrate. It's the best feeling. So
that is awesome. And trust me, that day will come, hopefully a little while for you. You'll go to college, and then you will get a job you like, but that day will come where you'll be like, oh man, I got to go to work. So that day will come. So you were a finalist for the Mr. North Carolina Football State Player of the Year after leading the state in rushing. What did that recognition mean to you, and how did it, again, I keep going back to the word validate, but how did it validate the work that you put in during the season?
Man, how can I even tell you? It's, last year I didn't get much recognition because it's like everybody's just thinking, I mean, it's his first year. He had a good year. He's just doing it 1 year. He can't do that 2 years in a row. So thought about that a lot during the off season. I've worked my tail off. So being able to be known as one of the best players in the state, it hits hard because, we come out of a small town in Sneads Ferry that every year it's like, oh, that's the same old Dixon. They can't really do much. They're bad. They're going to lose this and in the force. So getting this recognition coming out of that is just amazing. And I mean, I couldn't do it without my offensive line. So I just want to thank them for everything they've done.
I knew you were getting there because last time we talked to you a few months ago, man, you praised them. And it's a real testimony. I'm off script, but it's a real testimony. You were talking about being from little old Dixon, Sneads Ferry. The 10 guys that were the semifinalists, they're legit. I mean, kid from Kinston going to state. The 3 finalists last week, I think one was going to Texas, one is signed with Alabama maybe. Kid from one of the finalists, kid from Tennessee. I mean, they're going to legit schools. So, man, again, kudos to you for getting that recognition. It just says so much about you, but it says so much about Coach Kelly Davis, and it says so much about your offensive line and your team. So that's an honor. I can't remember, again, off script, have we in Onslow County in the last 10 years, 15 years ever had, well, actually, the Charlotte Observer has been doing this for about 10 years, haven't they? Have we ever had a player that's been in a semifinalist for the state player of the year?
I can't remember.
I don't think we have, honestly. So we're going to say no. So we can be another first.
Got it.
For this season. So anyway,
and I remember, I do remember when the Associated Press used to do like a state all state team and player of the year. And they stopped doing that probably about 15 years ago. Like maybe Dante Moss from Northside was put up there. Kendrick Burney was put up there a year or two from Southwest Onslow. But I don't think we never had anybody with his accolades and his stats to get that.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So Coach Davis has talked about your willingness, and you've talked about it here as well, to do whatever the team needs, including switching positions earlier in your career. How did you define leadership, and how did you try to lead the team in that process?
I mean, it all starts by like getting people to follow you. You want people to follow you. You got to be a good person, not just in football. You can't just be a good football player and have people follow you. You got to be a good person outside of football. And that starts with not being cocky and not being a jerk to everybody. Like, anybody could say I could easily go in there and just act like I'm better than all you, so I don't really care. I don't need to practice because I'm better, but there's no point in going in there and acting like that. I want to go in there and have everybody unite as one, so we really can do what we wanted to do and win playoff games and get to the playoffs. So you can't do that just with one person. I know that. And in all of my years of football, I mean, I've been on teams where it's just like you got that one cocky person, the team doesn't work together, and you just lose. So I know you have to unite as one, and I want people to follow me. I don't want to be that leader that's like just cocky, arrogant, and doesn't want to do the work like everybody else does.
Yeah. And y'all talked about your senior class. They've come up together. You guys have come up together, and really they've helped change the direction of the football program. So what made this group different, and why was this the team? Why was this the team, in your opinion, that finally broke through this year? Why was it this year?
I mean, a lot of the years before, we also had seniors that were leaving, that were still leaving us with the y'all aren't gonna do good next year. Y'all are gonna be bad. There's no point in even worrying about it. Blah 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 blah. But we all kind of knew that we were gonna do something. We knew we were a special group. We were here all 3 years with these coaches. We've been getting stronger. We all listen. We are all disciplined. We all do the work. We're the first class that's probably followed our weightlifting rules and did all that. And it's just like when all that starts clicking, it's like I got the key that opens the mansion, so we knew it was going to happen.
That's awesome. That is great. So two more questions, and then I'm going to ask Coach a couple questions. How has this season changed the way you see yourself, not just as a player, but as a person?
As a person, it's made me take a whole different perspective. This, like, I'm getting told I'm a great person all the time, and it was like it feels good. Like, you know, being good at football is one thing, but having people know me for my personality and not just football is also a really good thing. And then football wise it's taken off. Especially going last year, I never thought I could have a chance at college football, but they helped me realize that I am a baller and I know what I can do. And it's not just a spoon-fed thing. I can play at the next level. So
that's awesome. And I want to I'm going to follow up with that. But before I do, I want to say one thing. However someone gets to know you, you use football as a vehicle for others to get to know you. And that's however that occurs, that's how it occurs. You know, that's how it occurs. You know, you're quiet, you're reserved, but when you talk to you, you're a dynamic kid, man. I mean, you're a dynamic person, and folks going through everyday life wouldn't get that opportunity to learn that about you if it wasn't for football. And so football is just that vehicle. It could have been, you know, you could have been an ace math student or whatever. But football is just a vehicle. Football didn't make you who you are. You are who you are. It just allowed for other people to see who you are. So I wanted to kind of, you know, bring that to the forefront. Then last thing is and you touched on it. We talked about this when you were here before. Any more definitive plans or anything more concrete now about football beyond high school and plans after graduation?
Yeah, I'm 100% going to go to college. I don't know where just yet, but I am going to go to college. I want to attend a college for business.
Awesome.
You know, after football's done and everything, I want to go into the house flipping business, entrepreneurship a little bit around that area. But I do want to go to college. I do want to play football in college.
Awesome.
And, you know, if it takes me farther than college, then I'd love to do that.
That is awesome, man.
Well, I'm going to keep working that's always going to be the number one is football, but if it can take me places, then I'm going to go.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations again, man. And everything you get in life, you deserve. So congratulations. I'm going to pop over and your head doesn't get big, but I'm gonna try to make it get a little bit bigger. I'm gonna talk to Coach Kelly a little bit here. So Coach, this year, man, when did you first realize JJ was capable of potentially having? We're just gonna say it, that Player of the Year type season.
I think it kind of just spurned from the end of last season, like how he finished last season. We knew that we had some check marks of, okay, we can build and we can do some things around here.
Yeah.
And it was with the whole group. Like, it really is. Like, I tell them all the time, every day. They get tired of hearing me say it because they tell me I talk a lot when I'm in fourth period class with them. But, it's just such a joy to come in and see these kids every day. And they're a fun group to be around. And we always we have a lot of fun, and we just try to keep it real is what I say. And but if there was a defining moment, it's the first play of the offensive season against Topsail. I mean, we just ran ISO and it went for 79 yards for a touchdown.
Wow.
And everybody blocked. I mean, if I was doing a clinic talk, that would be the number one play that you put on there. So we knew that we had something there.
How awesome is that? Very first play of the season, you hand the ball off ISO, your fullback, or you in your single wing. I don't know how many backs are blocking, but your fullback in a traditional ISO, you block and you pull the guard and touchdown.
There's nobody else there.
You've been holding that play all summer long to run, and that is awesome, man. That's awesome. So I asked JJ, so talk to me about the playoff win, first in program history.
Yep.
Bus was probably crazy coming back, man. I don't know if it was or not, but just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we're going to Greensboro to play a game. I'll carry it back to our first season being here when we went to Havelock. Things didn't work out great there on a playoff, but JJ was one of the guys that went with us. I took a bunch of 10th graders with us that year for that experience. And it was very businesslike. The week before, we had played Croatan and lost basically on the last play of the game. Yep. And so the seniors knew they had, we were a little bitter. We'd lost a couple of games and we were in them. And so our focus was really great that week. I mean, our preparation was as good as it could be going into that game. We get to the game. We get going. We're running the ball. JJ's ripping off 8-10 yards every carry, and we're waiting for some adjustments, and everything. And we tried to run Sean, but they had set up this. They wasn't going to let us run Sean outside, and so we just said, "Hey, we're just going to keep running what we're running." I mean, there's no need to outsmart ourselves. Out of it.
Why reinvent the wheel? Man?
And sometimes we do it as coaches, though. We'll say, "Hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that," and we struggled a little bit. We had a couple of uncharacteristic turnovers, and we fumbled at kickoff. Like, we were down a couple of possessions, and we're down 14 with 9 minutes left in the game, and I think that's been the the Dixon is when you get down, it kind of starts to unravel. Yeah. You're in quicksand a little bit. Well, defense got a huge stop. They were at the 20-yard line. They could have kicked the field goal. I felt they had a pretty good kicker there, and they went for it on 4th and 2. They were trying to put the dagger in us.
Yeah, they were trying to put the dagger in you.
Yeah, and we got a huge stop, and JJ just said, "Let me go." And the first play, he ripped off a 50-yard run, and then we get down and we score. Defensively, we come back, we get another stop. Huge stop again. I mean, they're down at our 20-yard line again, kind of deal, and we get a stop.
Wow.
And everyone will tell you, and I think JJ would, when we got the stop on defense, we knew we were going to win the game.
Yeah.
No matter what. And we went down, we scored, we went to overtime. We ended up in double overtime. And they got the ball first and they scored, and then we scored on the first play.
Yeah, first play.
JJ, I mean, it's just power,
Yeah.
and JJ just runs in. And not saying, but they were kind of tired of seeing JJ.
Oh, I'm
know,
sure.
Yeah. I mean, heck, he'd already carried the ball 37, 38 times,
Yeah.
whatever it was. And then defense, we flipped over in that second overtime, and I think we scored on the first play again, and we went for 2, and we got it, and we were like, okay, defense, we got to go. JJ, these guys went out and played some defense for us, and really just the last play of the game was so like poetic justice of the defense. Sean made the pass breakup on it, and I had more videos from the sideline of people who just text me and said that it was just incredible to see the joy and the exuberation. And I had somebody come up to me and say, Coach, there's grown men crying in the stands because we've never seen a Dixon playoff.
Yeah, we talked about that on the show the next week. Grew up here my whole life. Have cousins that have been to Dixon. Real good friends that have gone to Dixon High School, and I didn't talk to any of them, but I know them really well. I mean, I know them, and I know there was grown men crying. I know for a fact that there were grown men crying. But something I want to go back to, you said when you stopped them the second time, you said you knew.
Yep.
When when you're in a situation like that, you know, and you kind of look at your at your teammates, or you look at the coaches, and you're all kind of like, yeah. I mean, it's just that innate feeling that
and not it was almost like I think there was about 1:40 left when we got the ball back, and like we just knew we were going to go score, kind of deal. And my thing was, hey, let's not score too quick because let's not leave no time, for them to come back down the field, But it all,
it's a great feeling.
It was awesome, and to see again the hard work, the fruits of what we labor. You put the seeds out, you got to water them, get the, you got to keep the weeds out, and then you watch, your crop grow.
Well, I told the guys yesterday when we were recording the soccer thing, the soccer show, I said, that night, that's the fun part, right?
Yep.
All the stuff that goes into it, the summer workouts, the spring workouts, the weight rooms, you can make it fun. You need to make it. It don't necessarily need to be. It needs to be hard, and it needs to be work, and it needs to be to the point that just gets you to that point where you want to quit, but you don't, because when you go to Friday night, Friday night's easy.
That's it,
and it becomes fun, and you remember everything that you did to get to that point. And Friday nights,
that's it right there. I mean, we talked about it during timeouts all the time, or in between series of, hey, this is why we lift. This is why we do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday right here.
That's right.
Is to get ready for this.
Well, let's talk about talking about the playoff. Last question, and it obviously changed the program's trajectory. What makes this group and JJ's role in it so important to the future of Dixon football?
Well, this is the, and I'm not trying to, but when we came in, they were 0-10 their freshman year.
Yeah, Coach, you listen. Kudos to you, man. You're not. Yeah.
But it really just goes to them. I'm grateful that they believe in me and Coach Bobby, that they really do hang on. So they've actually heard some things that we've said about hard work and persistence. But we've already talked about it. We've done the exit interviews with the seniors. And I've told them all of how grateful I am, that they stuck through for 3 years with it. It'd have been easy to, give up after last year or something, been like, well, it just ain't working out or whatever. But they've all just been tremendous, for their effort, showing up all summer long, all the things you just hit on, really.
Yeah.
But we talk about it all the time, is raising the bar, is the standard. The standard is the standard. You can't dip below it. And these guys have raised the standard for Dixon football now, that this next group coming up, yeah, they do. They have some big shoes to fill, but they also have some aspirations and goals of things that they're going to want to do, but they know that it's not you just show up. You got to put in the work and get there, and that's what I'm grateful for this senior class.
That's awesome. You got anything else, Chris, before we move to
Coach,
the rapid fire?
We talked about this before about there were years where, and like JJ mentioned, where okay, well, we're Dixon, we're not going to win. Here we go again.
Yeah.
But we didn't see that from your group. We saw these kids were up for that challenge of okay, yeah, we are facing adversity. Let's embrace it. Let's and Parker. I mean, we talk about the all name team. He would be the old quotable team because he's Mr. Quotable, and he doesn't hold back.
He doesn't.
I remember talking to him before during the preseason and after y'all beat Southwest, and he's one of our guys that he's been one to make sure that it's just Dixon anymore. Mm-hmm.
He's been one of the big advocates of, we want people to know when they've played Dixon. We want them to be in the ice bath, and we want them to know, hey, we're going to be a hard-nosed, tough team that you're going to have to deal with on a Friday night.
Well, I think from the perspective of moving forward with Dixon football, it just sets, like you said, that standard, and it just says, Dixon can win football games. They can go to the playoffs, because that's something that the community, the team, the community, the school had not really experienced before. Going to playoffs, but winning games, being having standout players that are being nominated for Mr. North Carolina Player of the Year, and so I think from that perspective, man, it just has done so much. And you might not see it, Coach, and I don't know how long you'll stay here. I hope you love Sneads Ferry, and I hope you love Eastern North Carolina. But the reason I'm saying that is because you may not see it now, but there was probably a little daggone kid out there, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, watching you play football every Friday night, JJ, watching you, man. And when that kid becomes a 9th grader, 8th grader, not 9th grader, 10th grader, and he gets to Dixon High School, he's going to remember it, man.
Absolutely.
That's just part of it. So anyway, let's move to rapid fire, because we don't want to keep you guys much longer. And we're just going to go back and forth. Same questions. I don't think these are any questions that we had previously when you guys were here, but real quick, favorite play from the 2025 season?
Probably the Rockingham County play when we busted that 50-yard run right before, and we kind of knew it was, we're winning this game now.
Nice. Coach?
The last play of the game to win the playoff game.
Awesome.
Yep.
Toughest defense you guys faced all year? We can talk about it now because there's no bullet board material for this year.
Man.
Toughest defense.
Man, I would say, I'm going to say Richlands.
Okay. JJ?
I say Havelock.
Havelock. Okay. One word that best describes this Dixon team?
Said it last time, perseverance.
Perseverance. Coach?
Fun.
Yeah. I love that, man.
Yeah.
Most memorable moment from a Friday night home game at Dixon?
Icing Coach Davis after we got that last tackle at Topsail when we beat Topsail.
You agree with that?
Beating Topsail in overtime.
That's awesome. Yeah. What will you miss most about this season?
Probably the fans.
The fans.
Mm-hmm.
Coach?
The camaraderie of this group here is real special.
And it sounds like you guys, as much as anything, you guys worked hard, but you played hard too, and you had fun doing it. And that's a great part of it, man. That's all the rapid fire I have. I kept it short. Do you have anything else you wanted to?
No, just a great season. And I was just, while you were talking, Steve, I was trying to think back. We've had Players of the Year, Area Player of the Year from Jacksonville, Richlands, Southwest, one from Lejeune about 20-some years ago. So I think this is the first time since I've done this for 20-some years that we've had a Dixon football player as player of the year in the area. So
that's awesome, man. Well, kudos. That's awesome. Again, JJ, congratulations, not just for player of the year for the area, for a great season. And I can say this now, I've gotten to know you twice. Unless you fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But I've got to talk to you twice now. Unless you totally got me fooled, as good a football player as you are, man, I think you're a better human being and a better kid, man. And I'm glad that I've got to, through football, I've got to see that and that interaction with you. So congratulations on your individual accomplishments as well as the team accomplishments. And Coach, keep getting it, man. Let's find you ain't gonna find another JJ, but let's find the next one that's gonna be toting it next year and do it.
Running through the hallways, there's already I'm already hearing the whispers of I'm gonna be the next JJ. So he's already a legend in the hallways. Already.
Man, if I'd known them, what I know now, I'd have given JJ some NIL money.
yeah,
And I started marketing those number 3 jerseys, but
Yes.
I missed out on that. So, well, that's going to wrap it for this special edition of the Down East Prep Report right here on the Man Cave Media Network. A big thank you to our guest, the 2025 All-Area Football Player of the Year, JJ Gulat from Dixon High School, and head coach Kelly Davis. And, of course, Chris Miller, thank you for helping us break down the teams, the season, and just everything that was associated with this show, as well as the other Down East Prep Report shows. We also want to thank, once again, Jeff Clark and the great folks at Marine Federal Credit Union, who, in addition to being the sponsor of the show during the fall and the winter show, said that they wanted to sponsor this show. So thank you guys for doing that. Congratulations to all the players. I think what did I say? 105, 104, 105 players selected to the all area football teams. If you made the 3rd team this year or the 2nd team, shoot for the 1st team next year. Just keep getting it. Keep working hard. And just remember, most importantly though, that your hard work and your dedication and performance from this past season was worth it, and it paid off, and we hope you guys have a great season next year. So for Chris Miller, I'm Steve Goodson, and thank you for listening.